My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set podcast. On today's podcast, we're talking to Nida Khurshid, who plays Lata on the hit show The Winchesters. The Winchesters is a prequel to the long-running series Supernatural and tells the epic love story of how John Winchester and Mary Campbell put it all on the line for their love and to save the entire world. So to tell us everything we need to know and break down all of season 1, give us some awesome behind-the-scenes stories, and maybe a prank here or there, here's Nida Khurshid.
So obviously you've been asked all the questions, right? Like what it was like starting out, what, this whole thing about Supernatural, what is the Winchesters, all of that fun stuff.
I think that from my very first audition for Lata, she kind of already felt like a version of me, which was really lovely to sort of like put on her shoes for a second. And I'm like, oh, this feels good. This feels comfortable. But there's also so much more to like paint on her. And it's also very helpful that she has an English accent. She's the much classier version of myself. So the second I put on her accent and her clothes and like my posture changes, and it's just so helpful slipping on that aspect of the costume. And I think it's been so helpful also with Drake and Meg and JoJo, because the four of us have naturally had a friendship from the beginning, to where when the cameras are rolling and we are, John, Mary, Carlos, and Lata, there's an effortless sort of chemistry there between us and our characters that just has helped so much.
I mean, it definitely shows, and the four of you, I mean, could not be a better match on screen. But when you first initially kind of read the script, did she have an accent, or was that something that was added in? And then how did you do that? Because for me, I would be like, I can't do it. I can't pull that off. So how did that work out?
So I did know she had an accent when I was growing up. So I was born in Pakistan, and when my mom and I moved to the States, I would just mimic everyone, like my cousins. I would mimic everything they would say, and that's how I kind of learned English. And not only would I mimic them, but I would like mimic everything I would hear on television and movies, and that's where the accents came into play. And I've always been such a fan of just knowing what other people sound like, what they eat, what they look like from all around the world. I think that's made me feel less like an other my whole life. So yeah, it was something really special to be able to put that on.
When I heard you talking, I went, oh my God, she doesn't have an accent. And then we did the press junket, the conference, like the press conference thing. So I watched, which was super fun to watch. You guys were so funny. Seeing you all like sitting there answering questions. I was like shocked by that. So you literally do it. And I know some people do this. You do it by ear. So you just listen, and that's just how you were able to do it.
Exactly. Just listened and copied. And like, this is ever since I was a little girl. I would do this, and the British one was the one I really feel like I would slip into all the time. It was my favorite. I can't tell you why. I don't know. I think I mentioned earlier, I just feel like, I guess, more like ladylike, and there's like an elegance. And I grew up doing ballet also, so I think somehow ballet and British just went hand in hand as the elevated version of Nida. Every time I would do either, it's like, oh, sick. You're a real lady today.
As time has developed with her from the first episode to the finale, what I love about her is that she is such a strong woman. I love that the Winchesters is slightly different than Supernatural in the terms of times have changed. So there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of sexual orientation that's different, that varies, which is fantastic. There's also a lot of really strong freaking women on the show that are kind of leading the pack and doing things. And, she is a character that knows so much and is the knowledge, like a lot of the stuff that she's putting forward is from her brain, which I love. I love it so much. How has that been for you as an actor to see some progress? We're not there yet. The fact that we even have to talk about it, to see the progress, to see that you're on a diverse cast, and then to be playing someone that is not only strong and capable. I mean, I love when she like pushes people and like, she gets like a little nervous or whatever, but she's still strong and powerful, but she's super smart and is really pushing a lot of the theories in this group along throughout the season.
I've always said sort of from the beginning, I see Lata as someone who, you know, when she was growing up, like books were her best friends, and the characters in them or the authors of them, if it was nonfiction, they were the people that really guided her and shaped her and made her feel like she has a sense of belonging in the world. And I also feel like that's once again like sort of similar to myself as well. And I mean, it's such an honor being a Pakistani woman as a lead on a network television show. I have dreamed of this for so long, and to be able to say that, like, yeah, it's surreal because I always wanted that when I was growing up. I always wanted to sort of see someone who looked like me on television, and wasn't just playing, you know, the gas station attendant. So to do that is, I mean, it feels like I'm on cloud nine every day on set, and it's such an honor, and I don't take this lightly. And I want to, like, I look forward to expanding on Lata more and showing more of like the powerful woman that she is, because I think she's learning so much about herself. And throughout the course of season one, you know, her putting on the armor of being polite all the time and kind. And I think that's also a cover for all of the shit she's been through in her past. Not only hearing, you know, the dialogue from her parents going through the partition of India and Pakistan, having that sort of turmoil in the back of her mind, but also, you know, in episode 11, we learned she's been through a lot of mental and physical abuse, and everything that has shaped her. She's kind of really pushing this, like, I'm going to be kind, I'm going to be good, I'm going to look to knowledge, and that's going to be my power. But at a certain point, you know, we can't just be that version all the time. And I look forward to sort of peeling back all of those layers and seeing more of the cracks within her, because I think there's such a stigma behind like cracks, and we don't want to show our cracks and our flaws and all of the other shades of ourselves. But that's what makes us human and relatable, and that's what's going to attract us to other like-minded people.
It is really amazing. And what people don't understand is, you know, I've covered a lot of shows, and, you know, people have heard me say this before on this podcast and like seeing this recording. It's been over 20 plus years. The fact that I even have to mention sexual orientation, diversity is like ridiculous at this point. Like, it's just so crazy that we even have to mention it. But if you don't mention it, we're not moving forward, right? So like, I have to bring it up so that we move somewhere. But it's crazy that we're still having to move, if that makes sense. You as a human and as an actor and as someone that's playing her has the ability to not only represent diversity, which is something where, just like you said, and you start to get emotional, but it's understandable that there are little kids that are watching that look like you, that have never seen anybody look like you. And they're seeing like, wow, that's possible. I can do that. And the show, you know, has a younger, you know, demographic or whatever, and then older people like me. I'm in my 30s and I watch the show. I watch Supernatural, so of course I wanted to watch, you know, the Winchesters. But we don't see it, right? We don't see that on television. So you were going up against a woman, a diverse woman, and then your character going up against issues that have happened and abuse in her past. Those things just don't exist like on a show. Like, it's just not normal. And for people that are watching, it might just seem very normal. Like, you might just watch the episode and go, oh, like that makes sense. I want to learn more about her. Between you and your character together, you're breaking so many barriers that are not normal.
No, I appreciate that so much. And what you mentioned about, you know, not only her being Pakistani, but also her having all of this baggage that comes with her. I think that to me was one of the most special parts about playing her, because I feel like when, you know, you kind of have put yourself in the other box for so many years, you try to make yourself more palatable to other people and try not to show all of the reasons that you're different, and try not to show, you know, all of the shit that you've been through, because you just want to blend in as much as possible, and you just want to show like the bright bubbly sides of, you know, what part of the world you're from, or, you know, why you talk a certain way, why your clothes smell like curry sometimes. It's like, oh no, it's delicious food, blah 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 blah, and try to make it all, you know, palatable and digestible for people. But I love so much that there's going to be parts of her that aren't going to be digestible, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, and you guys are doing it because when you watch it, it takes place in the, obviously, if people haven't seen it, it takes place in, you know, in the 70s, you know, it's a different time period. You would think that some of the, and maybe in the future, some of those issues will come up and some of the characters might have to face something. But I kind of liked that for season one, it didn't really, because it made it feel completely normal. And it made the four of you, because all four of you have different things and obstacles that you're going through as actors and then as characters, it made it normal. Like there was no question, there was nothing weird, there was nothing, you know what I mean? And I mentioned this during my interview with JoJo, you know, Carlos having a boyfriend or being interested in boys and, you know, guys and girls and all of that stuff. It was normal. Like him mentioning it to your character, there was no reaction, there was no nothing, which is how it should be. So like, I love the fact that it wasn't a storyline to push forward. It wasn't used as a, oh, this is like a traumatic moment for him. It was just a story for Carlos, and this is what's happening in his life. And you guys have all managed to do that together. And I love that it's like a little Scooby gang of the four of you, because each of you kind of pulls out a little bit from the other, and you have a safe spot with the four of you. But you guys are definitely moving the needle forward, and I love that about the show so much. Let's talk about costumes. So I've asked everybody this question, so I'm interested in what you have to say. I think they're the most beautiful and the most different and like intricate, you know, like they're not the most outlandish like 70, but I feel like they're the most different looking and very specific to her, which I thought was very interesting. So I wanted to know what you thought of, obviously we got to ask about the outfits. So what do you think about the costumes, the wardrobe? Did you talk at all about it? And then favorite and least favorite?
Carrie, a lovely costume designer, she called and she wanted to talk about, you know, a lot of style. It's like, oh yeah, let's the fun stuff. Let's go. We both sort of collectively decided on a color palette for her to begin with, because I think she is like, what she tries to exude vocally on the outside is what she exudes, you know, in her clothing also, which is like the yellows and the oranges and the pinks, and really tries to be the lightness amongst, you know, monster world that they live in. And same with like flowers, like her pacifism I feel like shines through in her patterns, the florals and the fun designs. My favorite, I feel like I get so excited to wear the tall boots with the heels, because man, usually when I'm on like a show or something, they always put me in flats because I always tower over the rest of the people. But Drake is thankfully a lot taller than me and JoJo and Meg. You just like feel so powerful when you put on the 70s style.
Is there something that you were like, oh, I just don't want to wear this?
In episode 5, and it's not that I didn't like the outfit, I just didn't like what happened to the outfit, because in episode 5, when we were filming the scene where the four of us pull up and the 5 of us, because Demetria was with us, and we pull up and we're trying to find Demetria's son, Donnie, or Ada's son, Donnie. That was the hottest day I have ever existed on this planet, and it was so hot, so humid, and I was wearing this light denim colored, very tight bell-bottom jean. And when I tell you, I sweat through that jean. Not only did I sweat through that jean, but I had big old sweat stains in the jeans, like just the lovely butt sweat, thigh sweat, all of it just really showed. And so on our lunch break, definitely had to take those off, air them out, and then let the sweat stains dry before we put them back on. It was so humid and hot at nighttime, like in the middle of the night when we were shooting, that they, you know, I usually always have like the straight hair with the middle part. They had to re-straighten my hair because it expanded about 5 times and started getting wavy and frizzy. So God bless them for what they do. They really help us not look like sweaty buffoons over here.
I know, because you guys always look perfect. And I was like, oh my God, if I was on that show, man, they would like want to fire me because they would be like, this is your hair is this is here, the makeup's dry. I'm like, my back's sweating. What do I do? And I just like a million people with like little fans like around me, and I'm going, I'm so sorry.
Oh my
I apologize.
Oh, the fans are very real.
I know. I've been on set before, and I see like
yeah.
two. They would need like 5 for me because I would be like the back sweating, this is sweating, the legs sweating, my face is sweating. Like just surround me. I'd be like this, or I know like even sometimes I don't know if you guys do this, but I've been on sets too where they have a car running, like when it's really hot and there's like AC in the car, and I've hopped in that. Like when I'm like, and again, I'm just the journalist like interviewing people, but I go, how the hell are they all doing that? And the second you hear car, everyone's like to the truck, and everyone's like running to get into the AC.
Oh yeah, it's like the AC tents and then the AC vans that we had on standby, and then I was definitely the one holding 2 fans and just airing out the pits with the fans, just trying to get those to calm down. I'm like, please, God, my poor castmates. I don't know if you heard about all like the farting that happens on set.
So let's discuss this. I've heard rumors, but nobody has finally addressed it. Okay, and I was going to ask Meg because I'm talking to Meg after you. I think in next week or. So I was going to ask her about this because I know Meg will tell me straight up. Girls talk straight up. The guys kind of hide it a little bit.
I'm very surprised that he hit it because he is notorious for doing it at the worst moment. So this whole sweating conversation just sparked an idea, come season 2.
So Drake is like, and I've heard some rumors so that we have an official now on the record. Drake is he's the worst one, which kind of, I'm not going to lie, kind of makes sense because Jared and Jensen, they'll probably each say the other one was worse. In Supernatural, they did like the mystery spot. They did the French mistake. All these really fun, like cool, like offset episodes that were just iconic and became like legendary. So I want to know like what would be like your ideal. So I guess I'll ask you that first before I tell you what Drake said and then what we sort of came up with.
I think I like pitched this to Robbie at some point while we were filming. I'm like, how cool would it be if we did like a dream episode, like they're all in the van, but one of them is actually just like having this dream the whole time, but you don't know until the end where all of a sudden like one of their eyes just opens and you realize, oh, but it was just a dream and they're all just in their van off to the next hunt. But it would be so epic if the dream was also, another dimension or another reality, and all of a sudden they're trapped in like an old black and white, like Bram Stoker-esque like Dracula movie, and they're talking like this, like, honey, would you mind getting me a tall glass of water over there? Why the hell are we talking like this? And it's all of a sudden like, I feel like Carlos would be the one to be like, why the hell am I talking like this? What's happening? Oh my God, we're all in a monster movie. We're all trapped in a yeah, you get the drift. And we would have to like slay whatever monster in that dream and complete the whole movie before we could actually wake up and, be transported back into the Scooby van.
I think that's a great idea. And I think that would be so much fun. We came up with an idea. As we were talking, I asked the same question. And then he said that it would be fun if they did something similar to like the episode where the guys were actors. Like, so they were like, what? Why are you calling me Jensen? Why are you calling me Jared? So he came up with that. So then we continue the interview, and then randomly, I don't know how it circled back. I said, what'd be really cool is if you guys did something like that, but instead you guys were crew and the cast were the old Supernatural crew, because so many of the actors have been coming on the show. Wouldn't it be fun if you were directing an episode? So like, you don't know Jared and Jensen, and you don't know like, Ruth and all of them, but they're there and they're filming. And you guys are like in this weird world. So like literally he was like, oh, like that. And I think I put a photo of him going like this, like online. Cause I was like, oh, you guys can't wait. And he was like, I am literally, when we hang up, I'm calling Robbie. Like he was like, I think that is genius. Cause I was like,
oh, good.
It's been on your show. Like almost not everyone, but you know what I mean? Like a majority of the characters have been on the Winchesters. Why not have them? And then they could be like real people. So you could be like, Jensen, move a little over to the right, Jared, a little over to the And you guys would be like, what are we doing here? Like, we don't know how to direct. We don't know how to hold a boom.
Blot Jensen's forehead a little bit. A little too sweaty over there.
Right? Or you could be like, you guys stop farting. We're in the middle of doing.
Jared, not another one. No silent but deadly.
Right?
Not on this set.
But I think that would be like such a fun episode where it's like totally that would really like canon all of us because it's so bizarre. It would be like a full flip. And it would be such a great way to bring people too. Bring people on the show that haven't yet. And like, what would you want to be if you were like, if they were like, all right, we're doing this. What would like Laka be like? What would we have her? Would you be like a boom, an assistant director? Like, what would you be directing the episode? What would you want her to do?
I could see her having little like director eyeglasses that she would put on for this.
The other thing is for you to kind of circle back for Supernatural. Obviously, you guys are talking about it all the time. I'm sure every interview people are bringing up Supernatural. So for you, how has Supernatural helped in terms of forming the Winchesters? And then what is it like working? I know, like, obviously Danielle's there, you know, Jensen's there all the time. Jensen, I make fun of because he'll have the headphones on and pulls them right off and we'll run out probably and give you guys stuff to do. Like, I know the whole spiel here. So I wanted to know kind of what it's like having the Supernatural there, because I know in the beginning was probably like a worrisome thing, but I think that kind of has dissipated a little bit. But I wanted to hear from you. And then what it's like working with like Jensen or Danielle or getting notes from Jensen and things like that.
I feel like both of them have genuinely been so helpful. And you know, with my character, Lata, she doesn't exist as far as we know in the Supernatural universe. So I got a little bit more creative freedom because of that, because there wasn't a sort of book to read on her, like what she was like. And they've just let me really like run free with the creative freedom. And Jensen, I feel like one of the number one things he says all the time is like, just have fun, like take risks. Don't be afraid to ask a director like, hey, let me get one for me now, please and thank you. And one of the other things he really instilled in all of us was that, you know, the crew and you guys, the cast, y'all are gonna become family. And these people, especially because y'all are all filming away from home, like these are going to become your second family or home away from home. And the importance of building that relationship and being kind to everyone and not taking that for granted is something that he really instilled in all of us. And I feel like that's helped so much because it's true. Like these people are like my family.
So let's talk about the infamous moment on the show, the photo. So I saw this early and I was like, no, because I had to hold it in and then I couldn't tell anybody. And I was like, I'm waiting. So the episode airs where they're like, you know, the photos are all like laid out and John's the one that picks it up and, you know, and then they're like, wait, who's that guy? And they shoot over. And like my reaction when I first saw it was your reaction when you guys were live streaming, which I want to talk about too. What was that like to read that in the script and be like, holy crap, there's a photo of Dean Winchester?
It's just so cool when you have anything to do with Dean Winchester on our show. Like, I feel like, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I still geek out. How could you not? Like, he's Dean Winchester. That's so cool. To have him come on and have that sort of be the sneak peek of, oh, we probably will get to be in a scene with him was epic.
So that airs. You guys decide, I think it corresponded coincidentally, I don't know, planned, whatever, with Dean's birthday. So you guys all decided to do a live. So how did that go down? I think it's fair. I don't think he'll get mad at me to say that, you know, Jensen's not the most like technological person, which is probably why you guys were all the ones holding the camera and everything. I think it's fair to say, I don't think he'll get mad at me for saying that, but whose idea was it? How did this happen? And then what did you guys do? Because like we saw a lot of it. What was that whole experience like?
I think the first live that we did was for episode 6, but then Dean's birthday, I think that was when episode 8 was airing. And so that's funny because Dean's birthday was that day and there was a massive tornado warning in New Orleans. So it was myself and Demetria who were on set that day. I can't remember. But we had to wrap early because there was tornado coming in. So we all decided, we're like, oh, like, how fun would it be if we just like all huddled together and cooked together and, you know, watched the episode together, as well as celebrated Jean's birthday. So I remember like texting Jojo and Bianca from I was getting my hair and makeup done in the trailer, and I'm like, before this storm comes in, can you all please run to Whole Foods and get these ingredients, because I am the designated, I guess I can give, yeah, I'm the designated chef of the group. So I love doing all the cooking. So I sent them the grocery list, and then we all decided that, you know, when we wrapped early, we would just go straight to Drake's and cook a big meal for everyone for Dean's birthday. And it was just so much fun. It's those moments like that where I'm like, wow, this feels like such a found family.
How did you, now I really want to know this though. How did you convince Jensen to come, not only to come, I mean, he always celebrates Dean's birthday. So like, I knew that he would probably do something, but not only to come to this, have a cake, have a hat on. I mean, like all sorts of stuff you guys got him to do. How the hell did you get Jensen to do that? And was Danielle through? I feel like she was probably the voice of some of that, but how did you guys get that to happen?
That is the magic of Danielle. That is, but also I feel like when we're all together, it's just fun. I mean, you want to hang out with, I mean, please come hang out with all of us, because it's a blast.
I think I could openly speak for fans saying more lives, more lives. So anytime you guys feel like doing it, I would say go for it, because it's a lot of fun to watch you guys together. So we see this photo. Now, as viewers, we're not sure if they're going to show, you know, prior to everything airing, we're not sure if they're going to show Dean. We don't know. Like, so we see this photo. We know he's involved, but we don't know if we're going to see him. So I was asking everyone, and because of the time between all of your interviews, Drake kind of gave it away, so I held it. So like I didn't put it up yet. But JoJo was good at kind of I said that's a good PR answer, which was kind of around it. He's in it. He appears
right away.
So let's talk about this.
When we every time we read a script, it's always like sort of like Christmas morning. But reading this one was especially exciting, because it's like, oh, finally, like Dean has arrived. And to have it happen so early on in the episode too, I feel like was so lovely for the fans to get to see that within the first 5 minutes of the episode. And then I remember for all of us to get to be in that scene with him at the very end was so special. And that whole night was so lovely too. I mean, it felt like summer camp. The best moments I sort of like black out in, because I'm so like present and there, and like a kid in a candy shop where I'm just trying to soak everything in, toward after I don't remember a thing. But it was lovely.
I think this will probably be like my hardest question, so I don't know if you can answer it or not, but I don't know if you've seen the controversies online. So there's a screenshot of Jensen, Dean, and you see the car, but behind him are two people. One, fans have identified as Bobby, which would be Jim Beaver. So Jim Beaver was there on set. We could confirm that. Okay. Who was the second person, or was there not a second person? This has been like going around and everyone wants to know. So I don't know if you're allowed to answer or not, but people are thinking it was cast. People are saying, I've heard all sorts of things as to who that was. Was someone on set from the show? I mean, like, I don't know what you can say.
I can confirm that there were two people with Dean.
With Dean, okay.
And I think that anyone who hasn't watched the finale should go watch the finale. And this is my plug: go watch our show. Like,
go watch it and try.
I can give away that they were in, you know, a very angelic looking outfit.
Okay, so like when I saw the photo too, I was like, no, that's definitely Jim. Like I could tell right away. And then I was like trying to make out, and I'm like, it looks like Misha, but like I wasn't sure. So
funny that
I'll confirm it for you guys.
I love how people were probably like zooming in and trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah, like, well, you know what it is? You and JoJo aren't on Twitter, so you guys aren't seeing it. But on Twitter, I mean, like I was waiting for the finale to air, obviously. So it airs, and I hop on Twitter, and it was like that, and then there were a million photos, and then people were just going, if you zoom in. So there's one, it's so blurry, but like with Bobby, you see the hat, like, you know, like the hat right away, the mustache. So right away, I was like 100% that's Jim. but then behind him you see someone else. So it was definitely another person. Was it fun? So this is another question that I wanted to ask you too, and then I want to get back to the finale really quickly, and then I have some fan questions. We'll wrap up. You guys have had Richard come on as a trickster, which was awesome. You've had Ruth, which was like, woo! We're like, yes, Rowena, she's back. I took a double take in the episode with Carlos singing because I'm watching just like everybody else, and then I'm going, wait a minute. And you know who got me? It was Billy. So like it starts playing, and I went, wait a minute. I was like, was that Billy? Was that Loud Swain? I was like, hold on a minute. I was like, that's such a great way to like sneak them on. And also because you could always have Rob come on for other things too later. There's all these people. The finale, you have now Dean, you have Misha, so you have Cass. I'll just put it close so you don't get in trouble. We have Misha or Cass. You have Bobby. So what is that like working with them? Because they're coming on. They've been on a show. They all range in years of the show, right? Of being on it. They're all iconic people. So they're coming on your show. What is it like working with them?
Oh my God. Let me start off with Richard. First of all, the energy that he brings into a room is like, wow. Richard is here. He's bringing his A game. I wish I could have gotten to work with Ruth. So I never actually met her when we were filming, but I did get to meet her at the Atlanta convention, and she is the kindest, most gentle soul. It was lovely, lovely getting to meet her. But everyone, I mean, everyone on Supernatural that I've met has been so welcoming, so just open armed, curious about us. And I'm like, oh, you're curious about me? Shit, that's really cool. Like,
but how was it working? Because, you know, Jensen's EP, right? So like he's there and stuff, but what was it like working with him as an actor? He's Dean. And then you have Jim, Misha, quote unquote. So what was it like working with the three of them? Because that's like freaking iconic. I mean, like to have all three of them in that final scene. So what was that like working with them as actors?
I mean, once again, I will say they were the level of like inclusion and warmth I felt from them was very unparalleled, and it felt like it was a big playground. That final scene that we were filming, it was just fun. The lightness was there, the passion was there, the energy was there, and just the brilliance that the three of them bring. I mean, once again, it was that moment where I was kind of just like, and it was good because for myself and Jojo, Alata, and Carlos were kind of just standing and watching, and so we did get to sort of just have that as like Nida and Jojo also just like watching the three icons just do their thing and sort of interact about that.
Were they like, you know, on Supernatural, there was a lot of joking, you would say, pranks and things like that. So when the three of them come on for like your final episode, were there like shenanigans happening with them, or like did they come on, shoot their scenes and kind of get it done? Like what was that kind of like?
Oh, the three of them were definitely joking quite a lot. And then, oh my, John Showalter too, he directed our last episode, and it was hilarious watching them interact with John also, like the banter, the dynamic. And I'm trying to think if there were any pranks per se.
Or any shenanigans even in between? Because I'm assuming like while they're resetting, you guys are waiting and all of that stuff. So was there anything, or even like advice or like whatever like went on? But they're just known to be, you know, I always say they're troublemakers, so they're known to be troublemakers. So I can only imagine what happened in between, you know, filming or whatever was going on.
It's so funny because I feel like the sort of like the six of us were sort of on like we were on the pranking behavior since day one. And then, I mean, the three of them were vocally very funny, but I think no one really wanted to prank us. I think they were trying to maybe be like, you know, let's be the adults in this situation.
Let's leave the kids alone.
I will say we did pull one on Jensen.
Oh my God, we need to hear this.
Yes, it was. So, I mean, once again, dear God, the shit and farting humor that happens on our set is, ooh. We got a fake piece of poop, and eco-friendly toilet paper, which we love. We got that, and we put the toilet paper and the fake piece of poop. Fake piece of poop. Is that a tongue twister? Holy shit! And we put it right in front of Dean's trailer, and yeah, so Drake and I put it right. I just posted a video of that on my Instagram on one of the slides, and we put that there. But then Jensen literally would not go to his trailer. We kept having to be like, so you leave anything in your trailer? Did you check your trailer? And just being really obvious about it, which of course ruined the whole prank immediately. And then he walks up, and then I forget to film it completely, but he's just like, you guys are so immature. I was rolling over laughing. He loved it though. He loved it. He was saying he's just like, his kids and his dog will probably get a kick out of the fake poo. But it was funny. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that was probably the worst prank ever, because we had to practically lead him over to the trailer to find it. But
Yeah, come here. And so he's like, all right, what did they do?
yeah, what did y'all do? What did y'all do? But
was there a good prank that you guys pulled between like yourselves?
so there's a bit of a pranking war that's constantly happening between Drake and I. Yeah. He probably thinks that he's the pranking champion, but really, it is I. It is
Yeah, so
I.
you and Drake are like heading up each other.
Yeah. I've written him some notes before, signed from production. Oh, everyone is a big fan of just scaring me. Also, JoJo all the time in the cast tent thinks it's so funny to just scare me out of the blue, and I will always be the one to fall for it every time. So there's that, and I think we're gonna have to come up with a really big, epic prank. Maybe if you have any ideas, please.
Yeah, we'll have to talk. I got some ideas for you. But so you've written him some notes for production where he thought were legit, probably, and fell for things like that. What has he done to you?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think he believed a single one of them.
Oh.
There was that. Oh, just scares me left, right, and center. Also thinks it's so hilarious to always flick me off while I'm doing a very serious take. And like
that's a very supernatural thing.
Oh, does everything in his power to try and get me to break. He does this to Meg also, but Meg is much better about holding in her composure. I will break every single time. So yeah, just gonna eventually get him back somehow.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Figure something out.
We'll talk. I'm older. I'll come up with something with you. We'll come up with something good. We have to come up with something really good for him. We'll have to get him. But all right, so let's talk really quickly about the finale. So obviously everyone's seen it. So hopefully at this point, and if you haven't, don't listen. Where is everybody at this point? And like, where are we ending with everyone? How do you feel about where they all are? And what is the latest on season 2?
Core 4 is temporarily just splitting up and breaking up a little bit because John and Mary have decided at the end of our finale to really give this a proper go and to see, if John can hunt at night while Mary tries to figure out like who she wants to be in society now that she's gotten out of hunting, and really figure out who she is as a woman, as a person, as a hunter. If she still wants to be a hunter, there's so many unanswered questions for her, which I feel like is such a beautiful analogy for all of us in everyday life, and for her to go and figure that out and be empowered in that way, like first saying like, no, I'm going to do this solo as a woman and I know I can do it, but then realizing, oh, there's also power in leading with my heart as well, and my heart belongs to John, and for them to do that together, I thought was such a lovely way to end our season 1. And Carlos, I interchange names all the time. Carlos and Lata, they're very much like, we're in the hunting game now, and they're definitely going to stay in it. I think there's a level of involvement from Millie to where she feels that she does have a lovely part to play in this world, and as well as Ada. I mean, Ada has her soul back in her, but we don't know if, you know, I mean, we saw the soul go back in her, but there's so many different areas we could take this. I mean, did it actually work? I mean, I'm such a newbie with magic myself to where I don't know if I did this spell correctly. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But so many different directions where this could possibly go. And as far as season 2 goes, I have some news.
I was gonna go, oh my God, that was mean.
I'm sorry. Oh man.
No, I know that you guys should be hearing soon though, because I'm looking at the date on my computer because it's March 9th. So like, I mean, by May, I would think, if you don't know already. If you know, I'll hold it. I'll hold this interview if you know. But any news yet?
I don't know anything yet. But
have they told you anything? Are they saying like that they're, you know, that they're excited, that they think everything's gonna move forward, or?
Look, I mean, I think everyone is extremely optimistic and excited that this story is going to be further told.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can say, and that's all I know. But we all
so we're like this.
So much more to tell. I mean, Robbie, his brain, just all the creative juices that are up there. I mean, I've heard some bits and pieces, and I'm like, oh my God, like I want to read everything and see everything further come to life and happen in a season 2, because these characters are just so relatable and so juicy, and they just have so many different directions they can go in. And I just, as an actor, I'm just really pumped and excited to further tell this and peel back more layers and slay some more monsters. So let's go. I'm ready.
Fingers crossed. We're keeping fingers crossed, like I said to everybody else, for season 2 for a renewal. Okay, so we're hoping for a season 2. You've been with me for like forever, so I'm so sorry. So I want to, I've been asking everyone fan questions. So if you have like a couple of minutes, I will ask you some fan questions. So I tweeted out I was talking to you, which, by the way, I encouraged JoJo that it would be great to maybe not be so scared to come on Twitter. You know, they said that you were also a little not after, so I'm pushing a little bit for you guys to head over to Twitter. I do follow you both on Instagram, but just putting it out there, there's a lot of love for you guys on here.
When we get a season 2, I'm gonna come on Twitter. I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm putting this out there to manifest it. So when the season 2 happens and you come on Twitter, I better be the first follow.
Okay, so done. Easy. Done. Deal. Yes, let's do it.
All right. So I put up to send questions for you. I got so many. And by the way, when I initially kind of teased that I was going to be talking to some of the Winchester cast, you were one of the ones that kept popping up that people wanted me to talk to, which, you know, I obviously had already reached out to you, but I was very happy to see that. So I thought you should know. Oh my gosh, there's so many questions. People are going to kill me. All right. So I try to pick something. So here's one right off the bat. Just, it's not even a question. It's from @IronA2019. Her handle is Ann. Dean's alive-ish. And she said, no questions.
I love it.
Yeah, I know. That's so cute. She said, or she or he said, no questions. Just wanted her to know how wonderful she is. And she did a great job last night. #renew the Winchesters, the Winchesters.
Thank you so much. That means literally the world. Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, so this person. Okay, this is a good question. So it's these names I'm probably butchering. It looks like In Dean Cash He 2, but it's IN Dean CASHE 2, and then the handle is Pran Gotham Knights Error. Says, if the Winchesters continues, what is one storyline that she is interested in working on? Also, please let her know that she was absolutely phenomenal throughout the entire season.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All these compliments are lovely to hear. Thank you. One storyline that I want Latha to be involved in. I would love for Latha to have a love interest. I would love,
Yes. Woo.
like, yeah, that would be fun. I'm very curious to explore that for her a bit, and also for her to just maybe potentially step into a little bit of like fighting. We'll see if that's where her heart desires. I think that would be, for me selfishly as an actor, I think it would be a lot of fun to get into the stunt world. So
Yeah, and like learn all of that kind of all of
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, I like that. I think that's cool. This one is from Brandy Tomlin 143. Her handle is Brandy T143, wishing for a Jensen hug, and then it's cut off. So I'm sorry for that. She or he said, "First, I love your character. What was your reaction when you first saw Baby?"
Oh my gosh. I mean, hot. Wow. that is a car. Let me tell you that much. Yeah. I mean, it's epic. I hope that JoJo also ends up buying the which it's unnamed. JoJo doesn't have a name for the van yet, but
Oh, it needs a name.
it needs a name. The van needs a name.
Oh,
The
what's the thing
baby
about
was
that?
lovely. It felt way too cool sitting in the back seat. I was like, can I just like kind of stay in here forever? Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. She asked a couple other questions, but I think one other one I'll ask from her was, were you as surprised as we were when Jack showed up?
Surprised? No, because I feel like, especially with Robbie, like we always can count on some pretty epic surprises and storylines and characters being intertwined in all the universes. So surprised? No. Excited? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but by the way, you're like my favorite person ever. So like we're done. We're talking more. Okay. So another fan at, I think it's Bose Cordell, which I'm assuming is for Walker, which if it's not, I'm sorry, but it's at BeausCordell. Handle is fall season, Rion / vampire, and it's cut off, so I'm sorry. Here
Hey,
she would
I
like
love
to know.
it. Already sold on this.
Here she would like to know, and I love this question. What was her favorite Latte line?
Okay, there's a running joke on this because the amount of times in our ADR sessions that I've had to shout "Cars" multiple different ways has been hilarious, because Carlos has been the sort of damsel in distress so many times where I'm running after them, which is hilarious. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say Carlos, like it's like distress with like Carlos or Carlos. It's just all the different ways I've said JoJo's character name. It cracks me up. And
Okay, so now I totally have to ask you. You have to give me like a really good one. So like, when you're doing ADR, are you yelling? Are you yelling it, or are you like saying it? Okay,
no,
so will you give me a good one of you saying Carlos?
Ooh, let me compose myself. Okay. Immediately breaks and starts laughing.
Wait, do you one more time? One more time. I loved it. It's so funny because you're saying it. I think you're saying it so loud that it like part of it is cutting out, so you hear like. Like
oh no! Oh god!
But it's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh,
well, we could do a quiet. You want to do a quiet one, a Carlos quiet one?
One where I'm like, Carlos, what did you just say? Carlos. Oh, speaking of.
Answer it. You can answer it. We'll tell Moran. I don't want him to get mad.
Okay, literally. Yeah. And I kid you not, you called me as soon as I was telling Monica about all the different ways I have to say Carlos. Carlos. So, anyways, let me call you later. Okay. Bye.
That is so funny. That I think is one of the best non-scripted moments that has ever happened out of probably the past 10 years of interviews that have the person call that we were just talking about. That is nuts. That is amazing. And when you turn the camera too, you saw them right away. Like that was great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm teasing that. I'm gonna be like, guess who called in while I was talking to her.
So
That was amazing.
oh my god.
So funny. Okay. So I'm like, oh my God, that was so amazing. We can't top that. Let's see what other people asked. I'm scrolling through. Everyone, wants a season 2. Everybody wants a season 2.
Same.
Let's see. A lot of like, what would you explore in season 2? We kind of talked about that. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Okay. So at In This Whisper, and the handle's Whisper, he or she would like to know, what was it like emotionally preparing for the heavy scenes in episode 11?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. I feel like Lata has become like a dear friend to me. So reading what she had went through and also sort of collaborating a little bit with Robbie in our wonderful writers room regarding her background, it was a really dark place to explore and something that really made me feel heavily for her. And even though I was acting as her, the emotions were coming from a place of, I know how real this is. And I know that many people, including Lata, have experienced this and went through this. And my prep just came from a place of empathy. And it also came from a place of, knowing that this isn't the first time this story has been told, and also just coming from a place of pulling from a bit of personal as well as just experiences that people close to me have been through. And I'll just say empathy again. I mean, I think just allowing yourself to feel for others and imagining what they've been through, and sort of taking off the veil of judgment, how you're looking like, what you're performing like, what other people are thinking, and just going in from a really raw place was helpful. And also just having a wonderful crew and Jojo being so supportive and like emotionally like there for me the whole time. I felt like I could create from a place of like freedom and didn't have any judgment from anyone around me, which was lovely. I just kind of just let myself go.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It was just it's
like a moment. It's like a moment, and you just like kind of like do it, and you put it all out there.
yes,
and you definitely did. So let's try to end with a fun one. The photo of you is so cute, by the way, that I tweeted out. You have your braids and you're wearing the white crop outfit and you're like on the phone.
Oh yes.
That's here. Well, I don't know if you can see it because here, that's the photo I use for people to ask questions. So every time I see it, I'm like, oh, she's so cute.
Thank you.
I was like, she's so pretty.
You are.
Someone had asked. Oh, here. Okay, so let's end with this one because this is fun. And she had asked this before, and I couldn't ask anybody. So, because of timing. But Ashley, it's at Ashley Raylane 22, said or wanted to know, what is your favorite Halloween costume?
Oh, hi Ashley. That is a really good one, and oh no.
Under pressure. Poop
emoji one year.
You were the poop emoji one year? Yeah. Oh my God, we're still best friends.
One of my friends who was with me at the same party was a fly.
Oh my God, shut up.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is so amazing.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I literally love you so much. That's so amazing. Because like you're just like, yeah, that's what we did. And it was cool and it looked good. So and I just want you to know I love that. That's amazing. Just so you know, literally a majority as I scroll through are literally no questions, but other than to tell you how much they love you. So let her know that she was absolutely phenomenal this entire season. I had read the one about the no questions. Everyone's like, renew it. We love Lata. Thank you so much for Lata. Lata's one of the best characters. Love her so much. I relate so much to Lata. Thank you. just tell her how much we love her. We see her in so many beautiful outfits. I want to say huge thanks for giving us Lotta, letting you know that she's great. We love her. I mean, it's just like over and over and over and over again. So just so you know, there's thousands of tweets of people saying that for you.
That means the world, and I hope to keep making all y'all proud and keep giving more of Lotta and the Winchesters. So I'm genuinely excited to keep telling the story and keep sharing more of Lotta. So thank you. That means so much.
Well, I want to thank you so much for spending so much time with me. You, by the way, win, because Drake was like an hour. JoJo was a little over an hour. So you were the winner officially so far of the interviews. You were the winner. So champion so far. Unless Meg knocks you out. But you were the winner as of right now. So congratulations.
Meg might beat me though. Meg might beat me. So we still,
we'll see. I'll have to update you. I'll have to message you. But yes. I want to thank you so much because you spent so much time with me. You went over everything. You answered everything. I think you're so honest. You're so endearing. You're such a beautiful person. And I understand the more I talk to you guys, the reason why the four of you work so well. And it's just such a beautiful thing to see. And taking time out to answer fan questions and doing stuff like that is not things that everybody does. So I just want to thank you for just being fully open and having fun and answering JoJo's call and just having a good time with me. And I just love you so much. And I'm crossing my fingers for season 2. And I just want to thank you for everything that you do and what you brought on the screen this season, because it relates to for so many people. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you. I'm soaking all of that in, and yeah, I just have so much gratitude. So thank you. It was lovely chatting with you, and yeah, let's hang out.
We'll talk when I click stop. Oh, really quickly, I wanted to ask you, is there anything you want to say to fans that don't get to talk to you? I forgot to ask you that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask that.
You're so good. I mean, to all the fans, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys supporting us and watching our show, and it truly means the world. And I look forward to meeting y'all at more conventions. Please always come up and say hello. I love y'all so much, and hearing from you truly means the world. And all of your messages and sweet words, I truly take to heart, and I go to bed with a smile on my face. So thank you so much. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you so much. I hope everybody, you guys listen to this and enjoy it. We love her. I know you all love her. Don't forget to check out the Winchesters. It's all available, all episodes now on the CW. So go check it out. Thank you so much. Until next time.
Hope you guys enjoyed listening to Nida talk about all things the Winchesters, break down some of the behind the scenes moments, and even talk about Dean's birthday, which was super fun. If you missed any of the episodes, head over to the CW app where you could stream them all now for free. We're keeping our fingers crossed for season 2. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're updated on all of our latest podcasts, and head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe so you're updated on all of our video content.